Hi there, my name is Stefan de Spiegelere. I'm the principal scientist at the Hague Center for Strategic Studies. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce you to a fairly large research program that we're running now out of HCSS, which we call Rubase. And it's all about Russia. Why are we doing this? Well, I see three main reasons why we're doing it. The first one is, of course, Russia itself. Russia is back. It is back with a vengeance. It's starting to re-affect some of the principal elements of our security, our traditional territorial security, but also our food security, our climate security, our even security about truth. I mean, how confident are we about that the things that we read are reliable or not? So that's the first part, the fact that we have sort of underestimated Russia for quite a while, and it's high time that we start studying it again. The second reason why we're doing this has to do with what I consider to be one of the largest technological revolutions also in defense and security, and that is artificial intelligence as a whole, but especially natural language processing. Over the past few years, and it's really literally only a few years, we've seen these massive large language models emerge, which combine the fact that we now have a huge amount of text available, the fact that we have algorithms that can increasingly analyze that text. But some of these new emerging algorithms actually allow us to dig a lot deeper into text and then to start linking those to the events that we see happening, to the behavior also of different states. And so that's an incredibly promising, it's also a scary development. We don't fully understand quite yet what the implications will be, but there are certainly a lot of analytical consequences for people like us who try to make sense of Russia that we have jumped on in Rubase. And then the third one is a really very personal one. I've been a first Soviet and then Russia specialist for most of my career, working at some of the largest transatlantic research institutions, and we have continuously missed the ball. I used to work at the RAND Corporation, about 200 Soviet specialists working on that particular topic, and we missed the collapse of the Soviet Union. Subsequently, we missed 2008. We missed the increasing, authoritarian tendencies within the Putin regime. We saw them once they emerged, but initially we certainly underestimated them. So that's why we created Rubase. Rubase, the Ru of course stands for Russia, and base has two meanings. The first one is a knowledge base. We're trying to use some of these new tools to just find out what can we learn about Russia? How can we deepen and validate our knowledge about Russia? The second element of base is we want to make a new foundation for collaboration between Russia experts. So what is it that we do exactly then? Well, first of all, we are collecting the world's epistemic record on Russia in the form of what has been written on Russia in academia, in think tanks. We do that, contrary to most others, in three languages. Of course, English, but we have massive collections on a variety of different topics in the Russian language. And we also, for the first time, have included Chinese literature. So we're collecting all of these corpora, is what it's called, sets of documents, and we then apply a variety of different NLP tools to it. This allows us to, for instance, we have a nice corpus of all the public statements of Russian presidents since 2000. That's a lot of work, I won't go into details, but that's a really nice corpus. What can we do with that? We can, for instance, look at which moments in time did Putin, for instance, start speaking in more complicated sentences, started using a particular type of words. At which point did the topics that he talked about, when he was talking about foreign security and defense policy, when did that start changing? If we then look at the behavior of Russia, what triggered that change? Can we somehow link up these changes in how Putin basically speaks to the world with what Russia has been doing in the world? With this corpus that we have of all articles on Russia's foreign security and defense policy, what does that tell us? Again, topic modeling. What are the named entities? So we have now tools that allow us to extract named entities such as companies, organizations, people. And when we take a topic, say energy security, what are the main named entities that occur in that body of literature? How does that change over time? We have entities can also be concepts. In what context does the word deterrence, does the word sanctions, does the word territorial security, where do these occur? How do they change over time? What are the systematic differences in the way in which the Russians and the Chinese and the West talk about these things, in which the way in which they change? And here again, how does that link up with the actual events that we see out there? And so it is our hope that with our insights that we get from Rubase, we can also start informing some of these policy debates, because we're not just looking at what's happening in the world, what's happening in Russia, what's happening around Russia. We're also looking at what options we have, we the West, to deal with some of these issues, and especially also how we can plan forward for some of these things. How can we formulate smart, robust policy options that might help us not only in the Russia that we see today, but maybe also some Russias that might emerge over the next few months or years. The team that we've collected to work on Rubase consists of a couple of people here in the Netherlands who are part of what we call HCSS Team Holland. But we also have a stellar team of Ukrainian specialists who are working, well, they used to work mostly out of Ukraine. Now they're a bit scattered throughout Europe, unfortunately. But of course, we're very proud of this. Ukraine is a country that still knows Russia a lot better than most of us do. A lot of these people have native Russian language abilities, have studied at some of the best universities in the world as well. And of course, they also find themselves in a particularly precarious situation right now. So it's an important part of Rubase that we are also being able to draw upon their knowledge and expertise to get our results. So this is really an attempt to retool our way of doing things, we as HCSS, but also importantly, we as Russia scholars, to discover new ways of working together, which is difficult for us. Most of us have our own funding sources, and so we have much more of an interest to do something on our own, and then to sort of bring it out, than to pull in other people. Fortunately, the funding that we have for Rubase, which comes both from the US Defense Department, it's something called the Minerva Research Initiative, and from the Carnegie Corporation of New York, which is a philanthropic organization. This funding actually pushes us to reach out to others. So we have a knowledge base that we make accessible to others. We try to incentivize them to bring their knowledge into the knowledge base as well, to build on it. We're doing all of this together with the Georgia Institute of Technology, which I'm also particularly proud of. We are a small European policy-focused think tank. They are a large public university in the United States, and we think that the combination is quite exciting. Let me stop here and let me just invite all of you to start taking a look at the new insights that we will be rolling out over the next few weeks and months. We will make text available, we will make PowerPoint presentations available, we will make videos available for the various topics that we're working on. So please join us on this journey, and I'm really looking forward to hearing back from you, many of you.